Welcome back, reality designers. Today, I want to talk to manifestors and those who love manifestors what the biggest dilemma is for manifestors. Can you guess what that is? Yeah, seriously. I know a key challenge stems from a manifestor's aura, which is characterized as closed and repelling. So, this aura can make others feel uneasy and maybe even a little cautious in a manifestor's presence. And many times it's completely unconscious. And people often find themselves scrutinizing the manifestor's actions, trying to anticipate their next move. Their aura creates a sense of distance and can lead to misunderstandings or strained relationship. So that is one of the big dilemmas, but it's not the biggest dilemma. And adding to the complexity of a manifestor's interactions is the natural inclination toward anger. So, anger being the manifestor's not self. Anger, while once, maybe at one time, it was necessary in different societal contexts. But however, today, it's often met with disapproval. You shouldn't be angry. So, manifestors may find themselves frustrated when obstacles arise, and this could trigger their anger. Experiences of being reprimanded for their anger during childhood can lead to its suppression in adulthood, potentially creating internal conflict. So again, manifestors, they have an impactful presence. And most of the time, unbeknownst to manifestors, this shapes their interactions. And they might not fully understand or grasp the extent to which their actions and aura influence those around them. So, this unawareness can result in unintentional consequences and complicate the relationship. And it's completely unconscious until it becomes conscious. Now you're in a better position. You're in a more powerful position because societal conditioning that expects manifestors to behave like generators, this adds another layer of difficulty to interactions because manifestors are the only type designed to initiate action. So manifestors are surrounded by individuals, primarily generators. It's statistics, right? Because of the sheer number of generators, chances are you're going to be surrounded by generators. And they are predisposed to wait to respond. And this difference in design can lead to friction because manifestors navigate a world that often expects us to conform to a more passive approach. And so I say that the biggest dilemma for manifestors is their mind. Of course, speaking as a manifestor, and both my head centers are defined. However, because the mind will try to control the decision-making process. So we get out off of the emotional wave and into the mind. The emotional wave is not logical. The mind is logical. The emotional wave is chaotic. The mind might be more orderly. So we have a tendency to be programmed or conditioned to go right to the mind. And the mind will want to control the decision-making process of life. And while this is a kind of thing that happens with all human design types, it's a bigger problem for manifestors because it's easier. I could be saying this out of context, so I want to hear from you. It's easier for projectors and generators to bypass the mind. Now that I just said that, let me know in the comments if that holds true for you, because manifestors have to live their design and trust their authority in order to bypass the mind. And so this is a very powerful place to be when you can get to this place. So just like other challenges, manifestors And the other energy types too, like reflectors and projectors, we're conditioned to be like generators because, it's most of the population. The biggest conditioning for manifestors is to act like generators because the world is designed for generators. So manifestors are the only type who are designed to initiate action, but they are surrounded by people who are designed to wait for something to respond to. And because of this, manifestors are constantly asked to do things. And this is a constant asking triggers the anger as part of our chemistry. It is a chemical reaction. It feels like our energy is getting very small, and there's a chemical reaction to want to break out of that. And manifestors, our energy repels others. It just does, consciously or unconsciously. Other people are going to feel our energy before they even know whose energy it is, right? Most of the time, they don't even know. But another dilemma for manifestors with their closed and repelling aura is it makes other people uncomfortable. And their aura makes other people feel like they need to be careful around the manifestor, perhaps. I've had the opposite experience. I've had where people spill all their secrets on me, and I barely got a word edgewise, but many experience this. And the people around manifestors are constantly analyzing them and trying to figure out what the manifestor is going to do next. So keep that in mind because manifestors, whether you like it or not, we impact others. And many of us are blind to the impact that our aura has on others. We don't realize how much others are watching and how much influence we have on the people around us just with our thoughts. Just with our thoughts. The actions of manifestors impact everyone around you. That's just how it is, regardless of whether or not the manifestor is consciously aware of it or not. So whether you realize it or not, your energy is doing this. It's how your energy works. And for manifestors, their anger is a part of the design. My anger is a compass. When I'm in angry mode, I'm not on my path. I'm not going in the right direction. So I need to kind of excuse myself, maybe disappear, create some space between me and what's being expected of me, and take a step back and check in. Because while our aura makes others naturally wary, manifestors are so prone to anger. And a manifestor's anger was essential in a seven-centered, energy-centered world, but is no longer needed or appreciated because we are now a 9 energy center world, which could be changing. I'm hearing different things about 2027, but we'll see what happens. However, this anger is still part of the manifestor design. So being aware of it and having tools for when it happens, not if, but when. Because people are going to try and tell you what to do, and you're going to have that chemical reaction, and you need the tools and the techniques in order to transmute that anger or redirect that anger into a more positive use of energy. And to do this, anything that gets in the way of a manifestor can be annoying or trigger the anger. But many manifestors are punished for their anger as children. I know I was. And just going and doing things without anyone telling me that I can. I think I told the story of when I was 7 and I went and got my own library card. I got in trouble for that. And it was just that I didn't need anybody to tell me I can do it because I saw that I can just go do it. And so this brings up triggers of anger naturally. It's a chemical reaction within our energy type, how we are designed. And this could lead to repression of anger as adults. And this repression of anger only eats you up inside. So this is my specialty on how to transmute that anger, because that anger has knowledge, wisdom, and understanding that we want to keep. All right. So with that said, I definitely want to hear from you because We're all going through this, and anger is a very common emotional response, not just for manifestors. I don't know if you've noticed, but man, if you look at somebody wrong these days, of course, I'm driving around in Chicago, and Chicago is very angry, is a very angry driving community. So, with that said, I want to hear from you. I want to know what you loved, and I want to know what you would love more of. And thank you so much for being on this journey with me as our platform begins to grow and we get the word out there. Do remember to like, share, subscribe, do all the bells and whistles so that we get this out there. And in the meantime, keep being amazing.